What is up, duelists? Arts and Crofts here again with your daily dose of GOAT format Yu-Gi-Oh! Action. Today's feature match, we've got Return Winner versus Kotsos here on the high-ranked portion of the Dueling Book GOAT format ladder. As always, both players rated in the top 200. So some high-rated action here for you guys all to watch with me today. Return Winner looks like they won the RPS. Gonna lead out here with a Giant Rat. So normal summon Giant Rat. Common in potentially certain burn decks with the ability to search up maybe Injection Fairy Lily, Gakugure Panda, key cards like that. Also very common in Earth aggro decks as well for similar reasons. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them rocking either one of those decks. I'm going to set a back row pass. Kotsos here has some early aggression to deal with. They're going to lead out with Pot of Greed, which is a great way to start building some card advantage over your opponent. Then they're going to set a couple back rows, set a monster in the way of the Giant Rat pass. Return Winner is going to make it to main phase 1 with no Dust Shoot. Going to fire off a Giant Trunade, which makes you think even more likely that they're running a burn deck. Very common in that strategy. Oh, we're going to get a Chain Secret Barrel here. So do we have a burn mirror? That would be kind of neat. You do not see that every day. Yeah, Chain Secret Barrel here. It's going to get in for a good amount of damage. And we're going to chain Ojama Trio to that. So yeah, definitely a sort of burn strategy here from Kotsos. Important to go Ojama Trio, Chainlink 3, but Chainlink after the Secret Barrel. So this resolves first. Return Winner will get the 3 Ojama tokens, and they will count as cards to each deal an additional 200 damage off of the Secret Barrel resolution. See if Return Winner has any chain here. Looks like no. Chain's going to resolve. 3 Ojama tokens hit the board for Return Winner, and they'll take some damage from that Secret Barrel. Looks like it was 2k. 2,000 damage from a single burn card is generally a pretty good trade here for burn. That means they only need to resolve 4 burn cards on average if each of them are doing 2k each. And importantly, 4 monsters on the board means that a Just Desserts, another very common, burn decks, basically the main kind of direct damage dealing cards are usually Secret Barrel and Just Desserts in some combination. So if you're able to enable those to deal around 2,000 damage each, that's a pretty solid goal for Burn to be able to close out games relatively easily. Return Winner's got normal summon Injection Fairy Lily here. Gonna go attacking with the Giant Rat. Yeah, you forgot to Giant Trunade there. It's gonna go attack into Deskawala, which that extra card in hand is going to matter because that's another 400 damage here from the Koala flip effect. It'll burn for 1,600 plus the 400 from Rat crashing into the Koala. Do you want to attack over with Fairy Lily, taking 2,000 just to beat over their monster and apply some more pressure? That's an interesting decision to make here. Going to choose not to. Keep their life total at 4,000. Getting down to, less than 4,000 life points, especially this early on against Burn, when they still have 4 cards in hand, is a risky business for sure. So I totally understand not getting super aggressive here with the Lily. In main phase 2, Return Winner going to set a back row pass. Most likely whatever they bounce to hand already with that Trunade that turn. Kotsos, though, off to a good life point lead here. That matters a lot more in, like a Burn Mirror match like I think this is, where card advantage becomes less of an issue and it's more about just who can kill the opponent quicker. Kotso's gonna go out here with the Graceful Charity, discard Sangan and Big Shield Gardena. Yeah, so definitely just some common burn cards there. Trunade here to remove the back row temporarily. We got normal summon Gakugure Panda, so Kotsos looks like they're just on classic Panda burn with Big Shield Gardena, perhaps. Not a card you always see in these lineups, but a good way to block, to blank cards like Nobleman of Crossout, force your opponent to waste them so that you can resolve really high impact cards in the matchup like Morphing Jar and Cyber Jar. But Panda here, massive attack here. Panda, of course, classic combo with Ojama Trio to power him up to a bunch of attack points and can then beat over them, dealing piercing damage and forcing Return Winner to take 300 points of burn damage just from the token's effect. So Panda hits in, puts return winner down to 1400, and I think one more hit from the Panda will do it. So return winner staring down lethal very, very early. Huge delta in life points here, so back up against the wall for sure. And notably, putting return winner down below 2,000 life points means that Injection Fairy Lily is no longer an option this game unless they're able to gain some life points, which is unlikely. And return winner is just going to concede. Really blistering start there from Kotsos. And kind of cool to see what I think is a burn mirror, but we'll see if anyone has some interesting side deck plans up their sleeve. We'll go to game 2 here. Return winner is going to start off the mat or the game again. We're going to go normal summon giant rat, set a couple back row, 3 back row to be precise. It's a very similar opening to before. Kotsos got off to a really good early start last time with the Ojama Trio plus Secret Barrel combo, and then had the Panda to follow it up. So let's see if return winner has anything available to kind of answer that. Kotso's just going to go set a monster, set a couple back row pass, similar to game 1 as well. Return winner saying, okay, I'm not going to attack into it. Very good chance that set monster is Death Koala like it just was in the first game. And setting a lot of cards to play around potential Death Koala or potential Morphing Jar. Because it's important to just get your cards out of hand there. For different reasons for both of them. Death Koala dealing damage to you based on how many cards are in your hand, so you want to just empty your hand in case it's that. Morphing Jar, you have to discard your hand and draw all 5 cards, so if you already have 5 cards in hand, you're actually not gaining any card advantage from Morphing Jar, so really good to clear out your hand against Burn, generally. And simplify the game state, right? Burn is one of those decks where, you know, assuming all their Burn cards hit for like 1,500 to 2,000 damage, it's basically a game of, okay, they need to resolve X number of cards throughout the game to win. They have like a goal number of cards to resolve. And so one of the reasons why the jars are really good in Burn, for example, is just the more cards they have, the more likely they are to see the cards they need to resolve in order to win. That's really the game plan from Burn. They need a critical mass of cards to just deal damage. And besides just having enough cards that convert to damage immediately, card advantage is not honestly that big of an issue. Kotsos here gets to main phase 1, has Pot of Greed to draw a couple more cards. Gonna add another set monster, add a back row pass. We know Kotsos is on Sangan from game 1, so could be likely that the set monster is that. We also know there's Big Shield Gardena as well. So lots of set monsters here that you might not want to flip up here if you're Kotsos, so not super surprising to see that. We're going to get End Phase Ojama Trio, though, to fill up Kotsos' board of monsters, so no more cards, or no more monsters coming into play, at least in the near future for them. And it's good setup for a pretty massive Just Desserts or Gakugire Panda combo, Ojama Trio kind of being the build-around card for these burn decks in a lot of ways. Enables your Pandas, enables your Just Desserts, even enables Secret Barrel, all that good stuff. And it can also just kind of stall your opponent out. You know, they only have a couple other monster zones to work with if you got all your tokens on board. So it helps enable not only the aggressive damage dealing parts of the deck, but also the half of the deck that's designed to stall the opponent until you can draw into your damage dealers, right? Because as I mentioned before, the goal of Burn is to just draw a critical mass of Burn cards to deal 8,000 damage to your opponent's life points. So stall is a very relevant strategy to do that, because you can just stall until you draw enough cards. Return winner is going to set a monster pass, and looks like both players kind of stalling out here. No Panda, no Just Desserts just yet to deal with this. Kotsos not flipping up any of their monsters, just going to add a couple back row pass. Return winner going to go draw pass. Kotsos draw pass. Yep, just both players seeing who's going to blink first. We got an old-fashioned standoff here. Turn winner will add another back row pass. Both players' back row is completely filled with spells and or traps. Draw pass. Ooh, normal summon Gyakugire Panda for a turn winner. So going aggressive first. Panda at maximum attack value here. 3,300. That's a big boy. Gonna go and attack one of those tokens. And that'll connect. So that is 2,600 damage coming in onto Kotsos here. So Return Winner getting off to this early life point advantage. We'll see if that bodes well for the future. We're going to get main phase 2 Just Desserts here as well. Interesting that they chose to use that before attacking. But, I don't play a lot of burn, so the sequencing is kind of lost on me sometimes. Maybe you just want to ensure that the Panda connects, maybe. We'll see Just Desserts. Another Just Desserts, put them down to 14. And then Secret Barrel for game. There you go. All right. So you can see Return Winner, the game plan working out perfectly there. Using Ojama Trio to actually just stall out until they had the critical mass of attack with Panda plus double just Desserts plus Secret Barrel to close out the game. And Kotsos just wasn't able to deal 8,000 damage before Return Winner was basically just a race in this burn matchup here. So we'll go to game 3 here. And Kotsos will lead out. We'll just see T set pass. Return Winner, going to go for a similar play, but with one extra back row. Kotsos, do you have a real flip monster? We got Swords Revealing Light, which is going to flip up both monsters and trigger any potential flip effects. Oh, interesting. Return Winner is running Penguin Soldier, not a card you always see in burn. But we'll be able to bounce both monsters if they want. And that will succeed. Kotsos is going to go for normal summon Giant Rat. And start getting in for 1,400. But we've got Karibo here to block that. Very interesting. Don't always see Karibo played as well, but quite good into these combo or combo adjacent decks like Panda Burn. It's going to pass. Return Winner staring down the rat. It's got a Swords Revealing Light in the way, but Berserk Gorilla is a good way to wall out here. And just add a back row pass. One turn of Swords Revealing Light done there. Kotsos just going to turn the rat into defense in case the swords gets answered to protect the life points a little bit. Set a monster for Return Winner. Kotsos has Pot of Greed. Draw a little bit more cards. Normal summon Gyakugiri Panda, only plus 1,000 attack points, so just an 1,800 monster, but could definitely beat over whatever Return Winner's set monster is here. And we're going to go see that happen. It is that Penguin Soldier that already got bounced. So it's going to bounce the rat and the panda. But will hit the grave. So a little bit of a plus here for Kotsos. Not a huge deal in the matchup. And they're going to have to set a couple of cards to prevent discarding to hand size. Return Winner under the last turn of Swords Revealing Light here, and this Berserk Gorilla is on the field, ready to start dealing 2,000 damage a turn. We've got Breaker here to potentially pop the swords early and start beating in for some damage. And they're going to choose to do that, so interesting call there, because, this was the last turn of swords anyway, so you would have gotten the free +1 if you just waited a turn. But Return Winner saying, no, let me get aggressive sooner. You can see they've already, they kind of made the call that being ahead on life points is the important thing in this matchup. Discarding the Karibo just to prevent taking 1,400 earlier, when it could be used for even bigger attacks later on with like Panda combos like we've seen before. But just making the call that life points is the important resource and not wanting to really fall behind like they already have, trying to equalize this. So Berserk Gorilla is going to go, Breaker will attack first, get in for 16. Gorilla gets in for 2k. We got Magic Cylinder to say no you. Return Winner will drop to 4,700. So unable to retake the life point advantage here, but is applying some good pressure with both these monsters. Kotsos with a super full grip of cards. Gonna go set a monster, set a bunch of back row. Return Winner does have to attack with this Berserk Gorilla. Has a Gyakugiri Panda as well, which only has 1,300 attack points at the moment. Breaker will go ahead and attack that set monster. Oh, Mirror Force is huge here out of Kotsos. They just completely wipe Return Winner's board. And that's just going to resolve. So huge swinging card advantage here from Kotsos. Absorbing that pressure really well and throwing it right back at Return Winner with the help of Cylinder plus Mirror Force. Two iconic cards in Go format as well. Ooh, we got main phase 2 Premature Burial. Interesting. I guess you probably just grab Berserk Gorilla to wall out the opponent. Oh, we're gonna grab Panda instead. So still only 1300, but if you got like Trio or something, that can get pretty big pretty quickly. And you can always use Trio like as a battle trap, potentially, to power up your Panda during the battle phase at quick effect speed. So what is 1300 now might be a lot bigger, and you never know when that could happen. So Kotsos, you got to be prepared for all eventualities. Kotsos, you're still ahead on the life point game, though, so winning the race by a little bit. Giant True Knight here, kind of a non-bow into your opponent's premature burial, because they can always use it to bring back something here. But you only have 3,900 life points to get through here. So maybe thinking that they can set up for a big game shot here. Chain Secret Barrel from Return Winner. Okay. Kotsos has to decide if they want to respond or not, or let Return Winner play another card. Trio does resolve, so Panda's going to get nice and big, and that's another 600 damage from the barrel. And it looks like that will resolve. Chain resolves. Panda gets massive. Trio tokens are going to enter the board. And Secret Barrel will hit in for 2,400 damage, which is not too bad. And now there's only 100 life points separating both players. So Return Winner able to kind of equalize things up there almost with that classic Trio plus Barrel combo. Ooh, we're going to get Flip Summon Cyberjar, and things are about to get pretty juicy here. Gonna wipe the board. I think Kotsos does take 900 there. Yeah, from the Ojama token effect. But Panda will hit the grave, and we'll see what both players are able to spin here with the Cyberjar. So Return Runner kind of siding into almost like Earth aggro, just running like a little burn. Or I guess siding into an Earth aggro package here with the Berserk Gorillas and the DD Assailants. So interesting plan here. Just saying, okay, I'm going to eschew the traditional burn stuff because stalling's not really going to work. Because stalling is good for is as good for Kotsos as it is for Return Winner. So let me actually kind of push the issue, side into some beatdown monsters, and just try to win the race in terms of damage. So I wonder if they sided out, must have sided out stuff like Level Limit Area B, obviously really, really bad if you're running Berserk Gorilla. And similarly, Gravity Bind not as catastrophic, but of course not great when you're running level 4 beaters. So Return Winner with a little bit of an Earth aggro burn hybrid here coming out of the side deck. Whereas Kotsos seems to be still on more traditional, Panda burn with stall elements. Either way, though, we're in the middle of a Cyberjar resolving. Return Winner, gonna flip into, I guess, one more card to hit here. Ooh, Desert Sunlight in the deck for Kotsos. So definitely more of like a flip monster based one. We know they're running Des Koala as well as Big Shield Gardna. So stuff like Desert Sunlight definitely plays into more of this like flip effect based burn setup. Whereas Return Winner definitely went for more of a beatdown angle. Still two Panda burn decks, but with some key differences between the two. Interesting to see their takes on different takes on the deck in a pretty rarely seen burn mirror as well. So Return Winner, unfortunately, the Karibo is going to get summoned here, which you're probably not too happy about. You'd rather have that in hand to block damage. But it can, in defense position, unless there's some piercing damage coming through, can block attacks as well, of course. And they're going to be able to grab Sangan and DD Assailant as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see, like, DD Assailant in attack mode, face down defense, Sangan and Karibo. Or you could even just get a little bit trickier and go face down defense position all three to throw your opponent off and make their guessing math a little bit harder. Kotsos hit a Panda, which is nice, and a Morphing Jar, which is nice. Desert Sunlight to almost guarantee the resolving of Morphing Jar as well, which is pretty interesting. Now, if you're Kotsos, you actually don't really care too much about Morphing Jar resolving here, because you have so many more cards than your opponents. You actually kind of don't want that to resolve. I wonder if there's a world where you just summon it in, like, attack position, actually, so that you don't have to worry about Return Winner coming back and triggering it and equalizing the card advantage. But grabbing another barrel to deal more damage, plus sunlight. Well, sunlight may or may not be good here. But Mystic Walk, of course, great card against burn decks. So cool to see it being sided in here as a burn player for the mirror. We'll see what both players decide to do. Puts us with so many cards in hand. Just gonna go summon Panda. And we are going to go set Morphing Jar Panda in attack position here. So potential Morphing Jar resolution here for Return Winner to play for. And then Return Winner, yeah, gonna go probably set Sangan, set. Yeah, so we're gonna go triple set, being tricky here. I like it. And then gonna grab that knock, which they have to use on the Morphing Jar, but they probably don't want to because they would rather it resolve and equalize things, like I said before. Mirror Force, pretty good here as well, but Kotsos probably has a solid number of burn cards in hand here. So playing for battle here might not be super relevant here with the Mirror Force. Something you need to play around, of course, though, if you're Kotsos. Mirror is just vibes. I never play it. Yeah. That, I mean, it did kind of do really good. Was that earlier this game? Yeah. It was pretty good because it killed Breaker plus Berserk Gorilla plus Panda for Kotsos. So is it just vibes, or does it sometimes just kind of win you games even in burn mirrors? Mirror Force is a pretty good card, I would say. Kotsos is gonna go normal summon Panda, so both getting powered up 1500 here, so 2300 attack points apiece. Gonna go attack into one of the monsters. It is the Kariba, so piercing damage. Kariba not really getting too much value here. And let's see, choosing not to attack another one. So Kotsos just kind of rolling to see if they could get that Karibo and hit in for a lot of damage, and then smartly not attacking. You know, one is Sangan, one is DD Assailant. Both are probably not monsters you really want to kill. Assailant, of course, will banish your Panda, which you don't want. And Sangan will float into potentially a Panda of their own if you're a Return Winner. And Kotsos will have more monsters on the field. So oh, and then Kotsos is just gonna say, okay, I've got Trio plus Barrel, 4 game. Yeah, so Cyberjar resolving, Kotsos able to do it on their turn means that they're going to be able to play all of their burn cards first and just deal the last remaining points of damage here. So 2 games to 1 here in this burn mirror match. Kotsos is going to take it down over Return Winner. Really interesting. We don't see a lot of burn decks on the ladder too frequently, so to see 2 in 1 game, I think is pretty cool. So this was a really fun one for me. It was also really cool to see 2 different takes on the Panda burn strategy. You know, I think people kind of think of burn as a monolith a lot of the time, but you can see here Kotsos clearly going for more of like a flip monster centric strategy with Deskawala and Desert Sunlight and Big Shield Gardna, or Return Winner going for more of an Earth Aggro hybrid deck with Berserk Gorillas and things like that. Even Penguin Soldier is kind of nice. Kind of a cool little tech card to, I guess maybe... I mean, I guess if you can, like, use it to bounce your own jars and use them again, that's pretty cool. You can use it to, like, reset your breaker, perhaps. It has some nifty uses. Return Winner, of course, not able to take the game down on their own this time. Let's show hands, see if there were any other spicy tech cards either player was playing. Kind of standard stuff here from Kotsos. Lily is common in even the non-aggro version of Burn, so that's totally fine. Rat for Lily makes sense. Tribe is good, especially to blow up your own Ojama tokens as well. And all normal stuff that we had seen so far this game already from Return Winner, or this match already. So yeah, cool. Really cool match. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will catch you all next time.